What's up, you beautiful people? It's time once again for the O Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, CW. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to hit that bell on YouTube so you get notified when new videos go up, and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcasting app. Today, we're talking about going all in on Imperium. Now, you can argue that WWE already has gone all in on Imperium, but I'm saying let's take it to another level, a new level. The ring general, Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci, need that next stepping stone, right? I feel like they've plateaued a little bit in their gimmick, and they need that next level thing, right? So let's say, depending on how The Miz, let's backtrack. I think what they're doing with Giovanni Vinci is terrible. I don't like the fact that they're burying him every single week for God knows what reason. I don't know why. I don't know why they made him the weak link. It makes Imperium weak. They're always as weak as their weakest link. And if Giovanni is going to take a bunch of L's, that group will never have tag team gold, which I think they need, which is what we're going to talk about. And also it makes Gunther seem like he has goons instead of, for lack of a better term, followers, right? Giovanni needs to be strong. They need to reverse this whole thing. It's an easy fix. You can have him take another L in a singles match, and then just have him spaz out and freak out and turn his whole life around, and then go on a rampage whooping everyone's ass, okay? Well, we need to turn that ship around. Now, fast forward. The Miz is taking on Gunther for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship of the World at Survivor Series. And more likely than not, Gunther is going to go over. But if he does, which, I kind of hope he does, just so I can facilitate my idea. He takes on The Miz. The Miz goes over as a huge babyface. His trajectory is different now. He doesn't win the IC title, but, now he's on fully firm ground as a babyface. And Gunther gets a lot more heat as a heel. We cut to Raw after Survivor Series, and Imperium comes out. Gunther makes an announcement. He says that after his win at Survivor Series, he feels like the competition has been lacking in WWE, and he wants to only fight the best, because only the best deserve a shot at the Intercontinental Championship and the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. So he spoke to Adam Pearce and signed a contract stating that anyone who wants an IC title match has to go through Gunther's gauntlet. Now, what is that? Gunther will pick an opponent for any challenger of the IC championship. They have to win that match in order to qualify to go through the gauntlet. What is the gauntlet? Well, every week you have to wrestle a member of Imperium, leading to the pay-per-view where if you make it through those guys, you get to wrestle for the IC championship. Now, this gauntlet tournament style IC title reign for Gunther only works if Giovanni Vinci is a strong competitor, which is why I was like, something has to happen for my idea to go through. But let's live in a world where Giovanni is incredibly strong competitor. He's great on the mic. So is Kaiser. They're just the most strong tag team without tag team gold, which we'll get to. So when asked, in some backstage segment, why Kaiser and Giovanni would do something like this, they say, well, it's more, we feel like Gunther is the greatest IC champion of all time. We also believe that, wrestling is sacred. Their whole shtick of it being, they're honorable and sacred, and it's we are professional wrestlers, not superstars. So they're like, we want to make sure that this title holds this prestige, and the only person to do that is Gunther. So we will put ourselves in front of any unworthy challengers to the title. If you can't defeat us, you have no business wrestling for the title. So it becomes an honor thing and less about being goons, which they kind of are right now. It becomes more of like like think of knights, right? Like they all protect a certain order. They have a code. These three have a code. They already have a code, but now that they're strong competitors as a unit, there's no weak links. You give them the authority to say, well, yes, they can make that stipulation. Then you just feed Giovanni mid-card wrestlers. Great talent, but people you don't think would ever hold the IC championship, which is unfair to say out loud, but follow me. So I was going to say 100. A bunch of people can't get through Giovanni. That's the game. When you get to a upper mid-card person who, you know, has a better shot in the crowd's eyes, you know, if they're over, you make them get through him, and then Kaiser stops them. And then you only let through like the main draws who are going to pull numbers for a pay-per-view, because you always have to think about the business. So the AJ Styles, the Bobby Lashleys, the, you know, Drew McIntyres, the Sheamuses, the even the Karrion Crosses, who you can, you know, pitch as a strong competitor for that title, make it through Kaiser, and those are the pay-per-view matches that you get with Gunther. This way, you have a month-long build that you can follow for each professional wrestler to prove themselves as like this honorable wrestler to make it to Gunther. And the kicker is, every week that this person is wrestling through the gauntlet, Imperium is there, and they're being incredibly dishonest and not honorable. They're trying to make them lose. Whenever, you know, Giovanni looks like he's going to be pinned, they jump in and they try and, you know, stop the whole thing. But you still have to make Giovanni strong, right? So they're being underhanded while also preaching this whole message of being honorable. That way they get over as heels. Your baby faces or whatever get over as strong competitors. And the ones who make it through all the garbage that Imperium is throwing at them are stronger for it. Their characters are stronger. The story is stronger. And then the match will be a banger because Gunther is an incredible professional wrestler. Tells a great story in the ring. That way, whoever ends up taking the title from Gunther has not only earned it, because you can do a crazy underdog story where you're like, you know what, we want Tozawa to be the IC champ because he's doing great work. And he does. Tozawa is amazing. No matter what you say, he's an incredible professional wrestler. If Tozawa made that sort of like, I'm going to do it, I'm going to go through the gauntlet, and they laugh him off, you know, they just belittle him, and he just underdogs his way all the way to Gunther and wins, there's no greater scene than a video package of Tozawa getting just absolutely trounced, but coming back and winning, and then making it to whatever pay-per-view and taking the title from Gunther. Now, what happens after that? Who the hell knows? I don't know. But I think creating this stipulation around the IC championship and this faction that has garnered a lot of fan support in Imperium, if you make them a strong, solid unit and have Gunther essentially be, you know, their King Arthur or whatever, and these two knights stand, you know, guard of this, you know, this monolith of a performer, you have a built-in story where they're like, they're dominating. Now, go back to what I was saying earlier. During these wins where there are people who are not going to win the IC championship, you position Imperium to say, okay, we've defeated X amount of people on the roster. It's time for us to get gold. Then you make them do whatever they have to do to get to a tag team title shot and then win it. Obviously, they have to go over. And then you have a bloodline situation where they are the dominant, like, gold-wearing faction in WWE, and then it makes anyone who gets through those two to get to Gunther that much stronger. What do you think about my fantasy booking for Imperium? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to check out other episodes on our YouTube channel or any podcasting app, and don't you ever forget.
I'm your friend, but if I ever see you in the ring, I can beat you. Don't you know? Yeah, yeah, yeah.